Hey friends, when I sat down and I worked on this lesson, I was so excited about it. In fact, I was playing through in my mind, like I worked on my lesson and then I did some other things and then I came back and I thought of the interesting title, Living in Paradox, and how we've probably all heard about living in paradise. I was like, oh, that's such a cute title. And I got the word from one of the commentaries that I studied. And I was like, okay, I'm really excited about teaching this lesson. And then I sit down. This always happens, y'all. I sit down and I read the verse. This is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day. Yes, that's an exciting verse. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It is an exciting verse. I'm excited about that. I'm still excited about teaching this. But I'm going to tell you, I thought as I started the recording, wow, how many of us feel like we are decaying, like we are tired, we're exhausted, we are hamsters caught in the hamster wheel of life. We are rowing upstream without a paddle, however you want to word that. I mean, however you want to phrase it. Do you feel that way? I do. In fact, I was talking with a friend of mine recently, and we were just like going and running some errands together, and we said, I just got to sit here for a minute. I just can't get out of the car. We are exhausted. This year particularly has worn me out. Just like worn me out. It's like I can't catch up on my rest. Physically, I'm tired. Spiritually, I'm so tired. I've been battling spiritually with the things going on in my own life. I've been on the front lines with a friend of mine, and I'm tired. We are decaying on the outside. But Paul says we are also at the same time being renewed every day. And this is the paradox that we live in. This is why we tend to, and let me just speak for myself, feel like sometimes I'm living in a fog because I'm in a paradox. Look at what that word paradox means from, this is just dictionary.com, a statement or proposition that seems self-contradictory or absurd, but in reality expresses a possible truth. Any person, thing, or situation exhibiting an apparently contradictory nature. We have the flesh nature. We have the sin nature. We have our earthly bodies that are going to come to a fleshly end, but we have eternity in our souls. We live in a paradox. We live in contradiction of each other in these places that we're living and in the life that we're living. And in a way, I'm telling you, this was like, oh, but then in a way it was like, oh, it makes so much sense now. It's total sense. It's total sense why I just feel torn. I feel exhausted, but yet when I read the word, when I talk about Jesus, when I talk about the hope of Jesus, the hope of eternity, there's something that happens to my spirit. And I hope you feel the same way. You know, Paul is writing this. He's saying that is why we never give up. He's reflecting on all the suffering that he and Silas and Barnabas and Titus and Timothy, not quite yet Timothy, but all of the apostles and disciples suffered, but they never gave up. And you know what? In this world, we are in a decaying body. We are. From the moment we came out of the womb, one out of one of us won't make it out of here, right? That's the statistic. But yet we have the deposit of our inheritance. Listen to this in Ephesians 1:14. Jot this verse down, the address, and then go write this in your notes. The Spirit is God's guarantee that He will give us the inheritance He promised. So we have the Spirit in us. So it's a guarantee. We have the promise. And that He has purchased us to be His own people. And He did this so we would praise and glorify Him. So what we need to do while we're living in this paradox is praise and glorify God. But then Paul also says in verse 17, these troubles are getting us ready for an eternal glory that will make our troubles seem like nothing. He calls them the weight of glory in some different translations. And I put a great link there. If you just want to extend your study a little bit today, take a look at that from gotquestions.org. It's a great explanation and just very hopeful, short article on that whole phrase, weight of glory. But take heart. We are going to have troubles in this world, but take heart. I have overcome the world, Jesus said. And He is in us, in the Spirit. So we've overcome all of this that we're experiencing. There's no need for us to focus on those things. And he tells us, Paul gives us the prescription, if you so to speak, for living in paradox. This pull that we have, this contradictory sense that we have, right? He tells us that we need to change our gaze and we need to fix our gaze on the unseen. So I wrote in my journal, what is the unseen? What is it that you want me to focus on, God? Because right now I'm focusing on all the things that I see, all the things that I sense, the horrible, horrible shedding of innocent blood and life, the killing of innocent life every day, through war, through abortion, through murder, the senseless abuse of our elderly and our children. This is what I see. The bringing down, the attempt to bring down the church, the compromise of the church that just has got to be a stench in your nostrils. This is what I see. So what is the unseen? What is it that we have to look at? We have to change our gaze. And it doesn't mean we ignore all these things. I certainly don't mean that Paul is suggesting that we ignore these things, because as Christians, we've got to be involved in the things that God, that Christ would be involved in. And we've got to be a conduit for change in this world. But in order to keep ourselves up while we're dealing with all of this, our gaze has to stay sharp and razor sharp. So I just wrote some things down, and you maybe can add to this list. But these are some of the unseen that I want to try to focus on in the new year to come. That is the new heaven and the new Jerusalem, the streets of gold, the no time. There will be no time. And for a girl that gets lost in time and time zones and AMs and PMs and calendars, praise God. There will not be any of that any longer. There won't be any aging. There won't be any darkness, no pain, no tears, no death, no suffering, no wayward children, no cancer or other terminal illnesses. They're going to be all gone. No rheumatoid arthritis and other chronic diseases. No mental illness and depression and anxiety. No more bad, sad, cruel, hateful, unloving, shading, and backhanded things. None of those things will be going on anymore. Those are the unseen. And so if we can fix our gaze on those and sharpen our vision to those unseen, I believe that it will help us focus on the paradox that we're living in a better way to work in and through helping others who are lost, that don't have this guarantee deposited in them, this inheritance deposited in them. If they see us being hopeful, they will want it too. So living in paradox, we're going to be living in paradox until he comes to get us, either through our physical ending of our physical ending of our physical life, or he comes to get us and takes us right out of here. We're going to be living in this paradox. So let's live fully in this paradox by focusing on the unseen. We can do that, right? Right? We can do that. We can do that. Y'all have a marvelous, marvelous rest of your day, and I will see you next time on Read Through the Word.